In this video, I'll be showing a newer cartridge and the handgun that fires it. The cartridge is the 22 TCM developed by Armscor, and the handgun is a Rock Island Armory, also made by Armscor, M1911 A2. Now I'm going to give you guys a closer look at the gun and the cartridge, do a little comparison of the newer round to some more common handgun ammo that you guys are probably more familiar with, and then I'm going to take it to the range and put it through its paces. Okay, here's your closer look at the gun. I really don't want to go over every little fact and feature. If you want to know how much it weighs or how big it is overall, that stuff is stuff that you can find easily on their website. I'm going to leave a link in the description box so that you can just click on it and go straight there. I'm just going to give you a quick overview, point out some of the main features, and then move on. One of the coolest things about this gun is that it does come with a 9mm barrel and spring. So you're pretty much getting two guns in one. If you're having a hard time finding 22 TCM ammo, or if it's cheaper to shoot 9mm, then you just swap out your spring and barrel and you have pretty much a whole new gun. The rear sight is adjustable, so it can get you back on target if you're having issues going from 9mm to 22 TCM. The gun itself is a full-size 1911. This gun has been cleared prior to filming. Magazine is out. It's the full-size 1911, but it is the double stack, so it's a little bit thicker than normal. I definitely don't find it uncomfortable, but I don't have tiny little girl hands, so if you have tiny little girl hands, you may find it just a little bit, a little bit big, but I think it's really comfortable to shoot, and to me it doesn't seem as kind of massive as some double stack 1911s that I've held before. This is the magazine. It does come with one. Both cartridges fit in this mag. It's a nice Parkerized finish in the skeleton trigger, checkering on the back strap. It's smooth on the front strap. Sights are 2-dot in the rear. Focus. 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 Alright, you get it. That's what your rear sight's supposed to look like anyway. A little bit blurry and obscure. Your front sight is just a standard black post on the front. No dot. I do have a little bit of a hard time acquiring that front sight on a dark target, just like anything that doesn't have a dot on the front, but that's just how it goes. Here is the moment that we've all been waiting for, and that is a look at the actual weird little cartridge that is the 22 TCM. This one is a 40 grain jacketed hollow point. Now, this information comes straight from Armscor, and that is, in the initial stages of developing the round, they were using 223 brass neck down to accept this little 22 projectile. It's obviously a lot shorter than a 223 round. But I hear a lot of people who do video reviews lately on this thing, or they write reviews, and they say it's a neck down 223, or it's a neck down 9mm. That is not true. The 22 TCM uses its own brass at this point. I'm going to put it next to a 9mm so you can see. That is clearly not a neck down piece of 9mm brass. That would not be possible. You can see that the 9mm case is much shorter. Now, as far as diameter goes, they're the same, obviously. That's why they're able to fire out of the same chamber with just changing a barrel and a spring, because the actual projectile is completely different. But the diameter and the base of the case and all that stuff is identical, so you can use the same extractor, same chamber, all of that. But that's how it stacks up next to a 9mm. So the 22 TCM, they say that it travels at over 2,000 feet per second when it leaves this 1911 that I'm going to be shooting it from today. 2,200 feet per second out of a handgun. That is pretty impressive. So that thing is going to come screaming out of there. Obviously there's a lot of powder in there, so you're going to probably get a huge fireball. And it's going to be loud as heck, I'm sure. Today I'm going to shoot the 22 TCM from Rock Island Armory into this homemade ballistics gel over here. We're going to see what kind of wound channel it makes. This is the ballistics gel that I made last night. I'm going to get a close-up of that. This stuff. I'm going to shoot it from 8 feet. Okay, so each block is 8.5 inches. It went completely through the first one, into the second one, about 4.5 inches. So it's like about 13 inches in. I'm going to cut this in half so we can see like how wide the wound channel and stuff is. So I'm going to go ahead and start stabbing away at this stuff. Entry. My knife is not big enough. This stuff is starting to sweat. You gotta keep it in the refrigerator, it doesn't last too long out here in the sun. So, see if you can get a close-up of that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but
yep.
Looks like it's about 2 1/4 at the widest part of the wound channel. Ew. God. This feels so wrong. I mean, that is a jagged wound. So that thing really started to tumble and fragment when it went in. You can see all the fragments of it, of the round. Let's cut into this and see what's left of the bullet. So this is what I did last night, spend my evening cooking ballistics gel. So there's the bullet. Just, yeah, hit that button, I'll take a picture. Okay, let me go ahead and dig this thing out. And there we go. That is what's left of the round. Okay, the next question is, does the 22 TCM detonate Tannerite? Typically this takes a high-power rifle round 2,000 feet per second or greater. The 22 TCM is around 2,000 to 2,200 feet per second, so I'm thinking it's going to detonate the Tannerite, but we're definitely going to find out. Good. I guess that's a yes. I'm going to try to give you a summary of the gun without making it sound like a commercial, because I really am in love with this gun. So after spending a lot of time with it at the range, it has become one of my absolute most favorite guns to take and shoot, and also to let new people try shooting, because once they put a couple of rounds through it, they're just like, they have the biggest smile on their face, because it really is just a blast to shoot, literally. It's super loud. It does have a huge fireball, as you saw in the low light shooting. But there's very, very little felt recoil. It's almost like shooting a .22 long rifle. So even recoil sensitive shooters or new shooters can manage the gun no problem. And it's kind of a contradiction, because when you hear the noise that comes out of it and you see the flame, you expect it to go flying out of your hand when you pull the trigger, but it does not at all. It's very, very manageable. So when you shoot it in indoor range, you definitely draw a crowd, because people want to see what is making all that racket, and also what is shooting that type of flame. And it's just this little bitty .22, essentially. As far as defensive rounds go, it's probably not going to be my first choice. This is, as of now, the only handgun that's available that shoots the .22 TCM cartridge. And this particular gun is a full-size 1911 frame, and it's a double stack, so it's pretty heavy, it's pretty big. There's no possible way that I could conceal that unless I was wearing a giant winter, bundled up in a winter coat. So that wouldn't be my choice at all for a concealed carry gun. And for home defense, I typically prefer something else. But you did see what it did to the ballistics gel, so it is clearly a very capable round if someone were to use it for self-defense. I would take into consideration that if you use it in a defensive situation, you're shooting without ear protection, it is extremely, extremely loud, so that can be pretty disorienting. And it does have a very large muzzle flash, so that could be detrimental. If you're shooting in a low light situation, it can be very disorienting for you as the shooter. It doesn't have to be a primary carry gun, and it doesn't have to be your home defense gun. It can be the most awesome, fun range gun that you have, because that's what it is for me. I don't, again, want to make it sound like I'm doing a plug or a commercial for somebody, because that's not what this is about. I'm giving you guys a very honest review and opinion of the gun and the round. But Armscor has been so fantastic to deal with. Their customer service is great. They are super friendly, and they just really stand behind their product, and they care about their customers. So again, I'm not being paid to do this or anything for them, but I really do appreciate a company that gives excellent customer service, and Armscor does that. So in conclusion, I would say, hands down, if you are looking to add to your collection, or if you want something that's super fun to take to the range and shoot, or if you can find one of these things available, snag it, because you definitely will not be sorry. I'm all about this gun. I'm going to go ahead and place links in the information box down at the bottom of the video for Armscor's website and to their Facebook page. So if you want to go and ask them questions or check them out, please do so. And I'm going to put a link to my Facebook, because if you're not following me on Facebook, you should be. So thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to do the usual things, the like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff. And I will see you all next time.